Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Just Georgian Show. I'm your host Georgian, and in today's episode we are talking about England in the Euros so far and my thoughts on how we're doing so far in the Euros. But before we start, hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone's enjoying this glorious weather. I certainly am. It's lunchtime for me here at time recording, and it's really nice out at the moment. So enjoy it whilst it lasts, guys, because you never know. It might all just turn to crap in a moment's notice. But at the moment, it's like I think it's gonna be like 27 tomorrow. So yeah. But less of that, more of what you came here for, and that is England so far in the Euros. Now, England play again tonight against Slovenia. I always have to check the. We've got a wall chart for the games, so I always get Slovenia and Slovakia confused. I know Slovakia is in Group E, and then Slovenia is in our group, so Group C. So yes, we have got Slovenia tonight. Obviously, our first game was against Serbia, which we won 1-0. The first half an hour of that game I thought was really good. We looked energetic. We looked just really in control of the game. And then after that, we were kind of on the ropes to half time. And I thought, okay, at half time, Gareth will get into them, change, get that second goal, even get a third goal, kill the game off, make some subs. Jobs are good. But obviously, it didn't go down that way, and we ended up finishing the game 1-0. So, we got the win, and getting a win, getting that 3 points in your first game of your group is crucial. I know that's crucial, but it wasn't a great performance. Then we looked onto the Denmark game on the Thursday. It was a 5 o'clocker last Thursday. And yes, I thought, come on, don't have the same half that we had in the second half against Serbia. But we didn't only just do that. We had a horrible game in general. I thought it was very meh. The goal we got, I credit Kyle Walker mainly in that goal, because Kyle Walker was, so determined to get to that ball, regardless of obviously looking back, the defender didn't even see that Kyle Walker's on his shoulder. But you can't fault the determination by Kyle Walker, because he just ran for it and he got there, put a ball in. It took about 2 deflections and then went to Harry Kane. So yeah, and then their goal, to be fair, for the Denmark game, it was a screamer. It was a nice goal, clean hit, hits the post. I don't think Pickford is at fault for that goal. But then, second half, he makes the same substitution as he did in the first half, just a bit earlier, which was Conor Gallagher coming on for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Obviously, there's lots of different areas of the pitch for England, formation-wise, which I think isn't working. And then hopefully, Gareth Southgate will change it, and then I will give my thoughts on what I think he should change it to. So obviously, in goal, Pickford, unchanged. I like Pickford in goal for England. Right back, Kyle Walker, one of the best right backs in the world. I think probably the best. Centre back pairing, I've really been impressed with the centre back pairing so far in this competition. John Stones and Gahey, I think they're really good. I think Gahey, Stones and Walker have been my standout players so far of this quite unimpressive Euro so far from England. I've watched a good couple of the games. I've watched, if I look at the fixtures once again, I've watched the Scotland-Switzerland game. I watched the Spain-Italy game, which was definitely my favourite game of the tournament so far. I watched the Netherlands-France game, which was a bit of a letdown, but still quite entertaining, especially the first half. Griezmann had a few good chances in that first half. Obviously, Holland had a goal disallowed, which I thought was a bit harsh. I watched the Scotland-Switzerland game. I think I mentioned that already. I watched the Switzerland-Germany game, which I was happy with. I watched the Portugal-Turkey game, which I thought was pretty decent. Terrible back pass for the own goal for the second goal. Was it third goal? Third goal, because Ronaldo passed it across to Bruno, didn't he, for the second, I think, yeah. And the first goal was Bernardo Silva. Yeah. But yeah. And the 2 games I've been least impressed with from what I've watched is the England 2 games, Serbia and Denmark. In reality, we're in 4 points. We've got 4 points. We're top of the group. We're in a strong position to finish top of the group. And looking at the draw, we do definitely need to finish top of the group, because otherwise we will face Germany in the next round. So I think it's crucial that we get a win tonight against Slovenia. Are we going to get 3 points? I bloody hope so. I expect it as well. To be fair, if we got a 1-0 but it was a better performance. I'll take that, happily take that, because look at Spain against Italy. They looked really good in a 1-0. So you can win 1-0 and still look impressive. You need to have control of this game. Like, I think Slovenia are 57th ranked in the world. I think we're 5th and they're 57th in the world rankings. So there's a massive gulf in the quality difference between the two sides. They have got some, interesting players in that team, like, ones that you think could cause some problems. But it's not so defensively that I'm worried about. It's more so the attacking side of the team that I'm worried about. Not because the quality's not there. We all know it's glaringly obvious the quality's there. It's just the player, the formation and the way they're being asked to play is what's concerning me. So yeah, let's go back to the team. So left back, obviously Kieran Trippier. It's not his fault, but he's playing out of position. He's one of 3 right backs we're playing in this team, which is just silly, I think. But yeah, so you've got Kieran Trippier at left back. I don't think he's done too bad. He hasn't really got forward much, but that left-hand side's been it's been an issue for the first 2 games. I blame that on Gareth Southgate because, you had Mitchell from Crystal Palace he could have brought with him. I think he had a bit of a falling out at Ben Chilwell, so fair enough. Obviously, Luke Shaw isn't fit enough. I think he's back in training. As of looking at it this morning, I looked at 2 bits of news this morning, which I will share. Obviously, Luke Shaw back in training, and that Conor Gallagher apparently is going to come in for Trent, which we'll get to the midfield. But yeah, Trippier, you got to play him because there's no one else. Then the midfield 3 where he's been playing is kind of like it looks more like I think of it more as a 4-2-3. 4-2-3-1 with Rice and Trent being the holding midfielders, which I don't mind Rice as a holding midfielder, but I do want him to be a bit more further forward because I've got confidence in that back line that they'll be able to hold up. So let the attackers go more forward, and in that way you won't have Kane dropping so far back. So yeah, I'd have Rice. Obviously he's gone with Rice and Trent, but it looks like with the Slovenia game anyway, it's going to be Rice with Gallagher, which I don't think improves or changes anything, especially if he doesn't make any other changes in any other positions. For example, if he was to have Bellingham still as the 10, Foden on the side, Kane and Saka, I don't think that solves anything. And I don't think Conor Gallagher's looked that impressive when he's come on, really. He done a reckless challenge and got a yellow card in the last game. And obviously he came on for a good chunk of the game. I think it was about 40 odd minutes. So he got a lot of time, and I didn't see anything too impressive. My midfield 3, so the back line I'd keep exactly the same, and the goalkeeper obviously. The midfield 3 for me is what I think everyone's crying out for, is that it's Rice, Bellingham, Foden. But we're not going to get that midfield 3. I do have a quote here that I'm about to read. It's not word for word the quote, but basically Declan Rice did an interview with ITV Sport where he said half the country asked for Trent to play in midfield. Now, I like Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he's a great passer of the ball, in a dead ball scenario, or when he's got time to look up and pick a pass, or like I say, dead ball scenario, free kick, a corner, etc. And I think he's pretty decent going forward on that right hand side. But playing him right centre midfielder isn't exactly where I'd want him to be playing. I'd want him to either come off as like a off the bench player, but you can't shoehorn 3 right backs into this team and expect it to be fluid, because I don't think it can be. But yeah, I would definitely take out Trent, bring in Bellingham, but he's gonna go with Gallagher, and then he will probably go with the same on the left and in the middle, in the 10 role. So it'll be Bellingham and Foden. I would do that 3 that I mentioned, so Rice, Bellingham, Foden, and then I'd put Anthony Gordon on the left hand side. If not Anthony Gordon, which would be my number 1 choice, it would be Eze, but we'll see. And then up front, I'd stick with Kane, even though people would ask, oh, Ollie Watkins had a good cameo. Yeah, he did. He had a pretty decent cameo. He looks more lively than Kane, but it wasn't exactly, like Kane was having like a 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10 performance, and Watkins came on and had a 5, 6. So he didn't do anything. He didn't pull up loads of trees, but he looked just more impressive and more energetic than Kane did. But yeah, if he puts up Watkins in, I wouldn't be like, oh no. I'd be a little bit surprised because obviously he's your captain. But yeah, if he brought him in, I wouldn't have too much of an issue with it. It's same with the right hand side. Like, I love Bukayo Saka, like 100%. But if he brought Bowen in tonight, I don't think Southgate's going to make this many changes, guys. So I think it will be Kane, it will be Saka, and it will be Foden on the left, and then Bellingham in behind. And what I think problem-wise that's causing is that Foden's not naturally a left-sided player, so he's drifting in, and you've got sort of like two players fighting for that number 10 role, and then you've got all the players going so far back because you've got Rice playing far back, and then Trent's also playing quite deep. So then Kane's having to come deep to receive the ball, and then Kane will receive the ball, but then there's no one for him to look up to because everyone's so deep. So we need to push forward and take risks really. Commit more players forward and trust in that defence, because I think that defence is pretty solid. Gahey, Stones, Walker, and Trippier. But yeah, another quote from this ITV interview from Declan Rice. He also said Serbia was a good performance. Now, for half an hour, I'd agree with you, Rice, but not for the other 60 minutes of the game. So yeah, I don't think. I'm not going to speak too much about this, pundits versus players thing, because I think overall everyone should just support the team and want to do better. And, the criticisms I've had in this video is purely because I want England to win this competition. I want England to play well. I want them to, galvanise the whole country to the team. But when you're playing really meh football, it's not really getting the country behind you. So, and then having these little sit-down interviews and these little jabs at the media and saying, like Kyle Walker said, paraphrasing again, that 3-4-0 results is just not realistic in European competition and World Cup competitions. But I'm not being funny. Kyle Walker plays for an amazing team. This Man City team is amazing, and they've smashed teams up constantly this season. So to expect a 5th in the rankings team to smash a 57th in the ranking team Slovenia isn't much to ask for. I don't necessarily want a 3-4-0 win. I'm not asking for that. I'm not going to be unhappy if we don't win 3-4-0. I just want to see a good performance. So yeah, that would be my team. I don't think that's the team Southgate's going to go with. So that midfield three would be Bellingham, Rice, and Foden. So I'd only make one change, and that's Trent off, Gordon in. Gordon on the left, bring Foden into the midfield, ask Bellingham to drop a bit deeper, push both of the centre midfielders, I'd call them 8s, so your Rice and your Bellingham, push them forward, and hopefully we'll start looking a bit better. But yeah, and obviously Southgate's had a couple of clamours with interviews as well, saying that we haven't got a natural replacement for Calvin Phillips, even though Calvin Phillips hasn't been playing well all year. So I don't know why he mentioned Calvin Phillips. I just think it was a name that he shouldn't have mentioned. And I think personally, we've got Kobe Mainu and is it Wharton from Crystal Palace as well. They can both play in that centre midfield role, which I think they can do as good of a job as Calvin Phillips does. But I don't think I want to play with two holding midfielders. I want to play with one holding midfielder and then let the other team flourish, because our main asset in this whole team is the attacking play, and we're not seeing it so far. Kane's had 2 touches in the box, which is just not acceptable. So yeah, we just need to hopefully perform better in this Slovenia game, and then this could be the basis to push on and have a really good competition. And obviously winning tonight is so crucial, because otherwise if we finish second, looking at the brackets again, we will play Germany in the last 16, which won't help. And obviously if we win the game tonight and we top the group, we will be on the other side of the draw, and we won't face a big team unless something crazy happens in Group E where we could be facing Belgium. But I don't think that will be the case. I think we'll face your likes of your Slovakias, your Ukraines, your Polands, is it Poland? Yeah, your Polands, or your, Georgias, maybe a Turkey. It's kind of tough because you're asking for this third place thing. It's hard to know, but it'll be much better than facing Germany, that's for sure. And then in the quarters, we would face either Switzerland or Italy, which will be a test. So if we do come out tonight with a 2-3-0, I think that will make everyone get behind the team. Loads of shots on target, loads of attacking, load of pressing, and then hopefully that will kickstart the competition for us, because we're not even in first gear. We haven't even put the keys in the ignition or pressed the button to start the car yet. So we're kind of pushing it without igniting the car. We're just pushing it up the hill. It feels like more so than down the hill. But yeah, hopefully England will turn it around, and we'll have a much better part of this tournament. I've really enjoyed the tournament so far, watching these games. 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So obviously we've lost the 2 o'clock games now. Such a shame. But it's nice to watch a game for like half hour at lunchtime, and then go back to work and have it on in the background. Because the telly's just in there, so I can type away, do my work, and listen to the football results. And if I hear go, I'll just run in there. I did it against when it was Romania versus Ukraine. I was just literally listening in, and I heard goal, and it was 3-0. So it was a good performance a good game, good performance to watch from Romania against Ukraine. So, but yeah, that group is strange, by the way, that Group E. Everyone's on 3 points. Madness. But yeah, so that's why you can't really tell who England's going to face yet. But yeah, we'll be one of them. So yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed this episode. I hope everyone's getting in the mood to watch England tonight. I certainly am. And hope for a better result. I think my predictions, 0-0 at half-time. England will look a bit there. Second half, we'll come out and get 2 goals. So I think a 2-0 win from England. But, I want to be proved completely wrong. I want us to be 3-0 up at half-time. But let's, hope for the best. My starting 11, which I think Southgate will go for, same back line, same goalkeeper, Rice, then it'll be Gallagher, then it will be Bellingham, Foden, Kane, Saka. That's what I think he'll go with. What I want is same back line, goalkeeper, Rice, Bellingham, Foden. I've mentioned this many a times. Gordon, Saka, Kane. So yeah, hope that team comes out, because that's what I think a lot of people want. And hopefully that's what we'll get, but I don't think we will. So, but yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Enjoy the game tonight. And I'll probably do another video once we know who we've got in the last 16. Might do a little preview for that. So take care of yourself, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.